Stop for just a second and think about this. What if the reason you're waking up 2, 3, or even 4 times every night to use the bathroom isn't because you're drinking too much water, but because you're drinking it at the wrong time? It sounds backwards, doesn't it? For years, many adults over 50 have been told the same advice. Just stop drinking water in the evening. It seems logical. Less water should mean fewer trips to the bathroom. But here's the surprising truth. For many people, that habit actually makes the problem worse. By the end of this video, you'll learn a simple hydration strategy that many people have used to dramatically reduce nighttime bathroom trips, sometimes from several interruptions a night to sleeping through until morning. And don't miss the fourth tip, because it's one of the most overlooked reasons people keep waking up at 2 a.m., even after trying everything else. Let's get started. I'm Dr. Roberto, a urologist, and over the years, I've spoken with thousands of patients who all shared the same frustration. They weren't just tired, they were exhausted. They avoided long car rides because they worried about finding a restroom. They stopped going to movies. They hesitated to travel. Some were even afraid to fall asleep on the couch because they knew they'd wake up in a panic, rushing to the bathroom. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Nighttime urination, known medically as nocturia, is far more than a nuisance. It's one of the leading causes of poor sleep in older adults, and poor sleep affects nearly every part of your health. It drains your energy, it affects your memory, it impacts your mood, and perhaps most concerning, every trip to the bathroom in the middle of the night increases the risk of falls and serious injuries. A single stumble in the dark can change someone's life overnight. The encouraging news is that many cases of nocturia can improve without expensive treatments or complicated routines. Sometimes the biggest difference comes from changing one simple daily habit. Before we dive deeper, if you're new here, welcome to Dr. Roberto Health Education, where we share easy-to-understand, science-backed health advice to help adults over 60 stay active, independent, and healthy. I'd love to know who's watching today. Tell me your age and where you're joining us from in the comments below. I read as many comments as I can, and they help me create videos that answer the questions you care about most. And if you enjoy practical health advice that's actually useful, subscribe now so you don't miss our weekly videos. Now let's uncover what's really happening. Here's something most people never hear. As we get older, our bodies change in several ways that make nighttime urination much more common. Once you understand these changes, the solutions will finally make sense. The first change happens in your bladder. Your bladder is made of muscle. Just like the muscles in your arms or legs, it naturally changes with age. It may not stretch as easily as it once did, meaning it holds less urine before signaling that it's time to empty. The result? You feel the urge to go much sooner, even when your bladder isn't completely full. The second change involves your body's internal clock. When you were younger, your body did most of its fluid processing during the day while you were active. But as we age, that rhythm often shifts. Instead of producing most of your urine during the daytime, your kidneys may begin making more urine while you're asleep. Doctors call this nocturnal polyuria, and it's one of the most common and often treatable causes of nighttime bathroom trips. The third change has everything to do with your daily habits. That morning coffee, the afternoon tea, the salty sandwich at lunch, the glass of wine with dinner. These choices don't always affect you immediately. In many cases, your kidneys are still responding several hours later, often right when you're trying to enjoy a peaceful night's sleep. Now here's where most people make a mistake. They assume the answer is simply to drink less water. That sounds reasonable, but your body doesn't work that way. And this misunderstanding is keeping millions of people trapped in the same exhausting cycle. Let's start with the biggest mistake: drastically cutting back on water during the evening or even throughout the entire day. You might think concentrated urine means less urine. In reality, concentrated urine can irritate the delicate lining of your bladder. When that happens, your bladder may send signals that it's full when it really isn't. In other words, dehydration can actually make you feel like you need to urinate more often. That's the exact opposite of what you're trying to accomplish. The second mistake is just as common. Many people stay busy all day, barely drinking anything. Then around dinner, they realize they've hardly had any water at all, so they try to catch up. One large glass, maybe another, perhaps some tea before bed. Unfortunately, your kidneys don't ignore that sudden flood of fluid. Several hours later, you're wide awake, walking to the bathroom instead of sleeping peacefully. The third mistake is one most people never even consider: hidden fluids and hidden salt. Think about soup, fresh fruit, ice cream, sauces. Even healthy foods contain water. then there's sodium. Salt acts like a sponge inside your body, holding onto fluid. Later, your kidneys have to remove that extra water. If your biggest salty meal happens at dinner, guess when much of that fluid gets processed? Usually while you're asleep. Now we come to the biggest surprise. The problem isn't just how much you drink, it's when you drink. This single shift in thinking changes everything. Instead of focusing only on the amount of water, focus on creating the right rhythm throughout your day. Let's walk through exactly how to do that. Rule number 1 is to front-load your hydration. This is perhaps the most powerful habit of all. Aim to drink roughly 70 to 80% of your daily fluids between the time you wake up and around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Why? Because your body needs time to process that water before bedtime. If you're already well hydrated by late afternoon, you won't feel the urge to gulp down several large drinks in the evening. Think of your body like a busy highway. Traffic flows much more smoothly when it's spread throughout the day rather than all arriving at once. An easy trick is to keep a water bottle nearby all day. Have a glass after waking up, another with breakfast, one with lunch, another during the afternoon. By dinner, hydration should already feel effortless. Rule number 2 is the 2-hour taper. About 2 hours before bedtime, begin slowing your fluid intake. Notice I didn't say stop drinking. If you're thirsty or need water with medication, take a few small sips. That's perfectly fine. The goal isn't dehydration. It's simply avoiding large amounts of fluid shortly before lying down. Small adjustments are easier on your body than sudden extremes. Rule number 3 is to pay close attention to caffeine and alcohol. Here's something many people underestimate. The effects don't disappear the moment you finish your drink. Caffeine can continue stimulating urine production for several hours. Alcohol does something similar while also disrupting your sleep quality. So even if that evening glass of wine helps you fall asleep, it may also be helping wake you up later. Try making your last caffeinated beverage early in the afternoon. If you enjoy alcohol, experiment with having it earlier in the day or reducing it a few evenings each week. Many people notice a difference faster than they expect. Now we arrive at the tip almost nobody talks about: sodium timing. This one surprises nearly every patient I meet. People carefully watch their water. They count cups of coffee, but they rarely think about when they eat salt. After a salty meal, your body needs extra water to balance sodium levels. Hours later, your kidneys begin getting rid of that excess fluid. If dinner was loaded with sodium, that extra urine production often happens in the middle of the night. Here's a simple adjustment. Enjoy your saltier meals at lunch instead. For dinner, choose lighter meals seasoned with herbs, garlic, lemon juice, or spices instead of heavy amounts of salt. It sounds like a small change. For many people, it becomes a game changer. Finally, rule number 5, prepare your body before bed. If your ankles or lower legs tend to swell during the day, spend 15 to 20 minutes with your legs elevated before bedtime. Why does this help? Fluid that collects in your legs while you're standing starts moving back into your bloodstream once you lie down. Your kidneys then remove it, producing more urine during the night. By elevating your legs earlier, you're giving your body a chance to process that fluid before you fall asleep. Then, just before climbing into bed, empty your bladder completely. Don't rush. Give yourself an extra moment to make sure it's fully empty. That small habit alone can sometimes delay the first nighttime urge by hours. Now imagine how these habits fit together during a normal day. You wake up and drink a refreshing glass of water before your morning coffee. Throughout the morning and afternoon, you sip water consistently without forcing it. Lunch becomes your larger meal if you're craving something salty. By late afternoon, you've already consumed most of your daily fluids. Dinner is lighter, less salt, fewer heavy sauces, maybe grilled chicken, vegetables, or a salad with fresh herbs. 2 hours before bedtime, you naturally ease up on drinks. If your legs swell, you elevate them while watching television or reading. One final bathroom visit before bed, then you settle in for the night with your body already prepared for restful sleep. The best part, you don't have to be perfect. Even following 3 or 4 of these habits consistently can make a noticeable difference within a week or 2. Now it's important to mention something else. Sometimes nighttime urination isn't caused by hydration habits alone. Conditions like diabetes, sleep apnea, enlarged prostate, certain medications, heart disease, kidney problems, or pelvic floor changes can also play a role. If you followed these strategies for several weeks and you're still waking up multiple times every night, don't ignore it. Talk with your healthcare provider. There may be another treatable reason behind what's happening, and you deserve answers. So let's put everything together. Drink most of your water earlier in the day, ease up on fluids during the final 2 hours before bedtime, limit late caffeine and alcohol, save salty meals for lunch whenever possible, elevate swollen legs before bed, and completely empty your bladder before going to sleep. Simple habits, powerful results. Imagine waking up after a full night's sleep feeling rested, clear-headed, and energized instead of exhausted before your day even begins. That's what we're working toward. Here's my challenge for you. Try this routine for the next 7 days. Don't worry about being perfect. Just be consistent. Then come back and tell us in the comments how many times you were waking up before and how many times you're waking up now. Your experience might encourage someone else who's struggling with the very same problem. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more science-backed health tips designed to help you sleep better, stay healthier, and enjoy life with more energy after 50. Remember, sometimes the smallest daily changes lead to the biggest improvements. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself, sleep well tonight, and I'll see you in the next video.